All right, happy Wednesday. Today's gonna be some awesome transforming content. And as you see, I've got my earbuds in because I'm always on the phone these days, as should you be, because opportunity happens when you dial for dollars. So I'll put this to the side and I'm gonna have a great time going over this content today. So if you jump on in the handout section, see I've got the only two things you ever need in this life. Three things are your earbuds, your phone basically, your coffee so you can stay awake, and your pen so you can take apps. So nothing else is taken from this content. It is your coffee, your phone, and your pen. That's all you literally need in life to function as a loan originator. So as we go through this today, we all know what's been happening in the market, and I'm going to try and make this content really relative, and I'm able to take in a lot of what you guys are asking me for, and then regurgitate, let it simmer, and then spit out something that I think is going to really help you with what you're dealing with right now, which is the siege of customers. How do you manage it all? How do you do it all? And I got a call from an old LO that I used to coach in Boston this morning, and she was in a panic because she just couldn't manage her day. And if you're like her and you're feeling like everything's on fire and what do you do first and the world's, just calm down. And you can't change the time in the day. You can't make it 40 hours when it's really 24. But what you can do is improve your focus. And so what I told her was, if you want to be effective and efficient, then what you need to do is spend 8 till 12 o'clock selling your borrowers, taking on new applications. But when you take an application, don't stop and spend 15 to 20 to 30 minutes putting that file into your operating system, your Encompass file. That's time intensive. Stay on the phone. I don't care if you're handwriting all your applications. Write them all out. Take them all one by one on the phone, then enter them all in at the end of the day. So my advice to kind of stay organized is spend the 8 to 12 on the phone, taking apps, and giving people what they need, which is a better mortgage. After that, spend your 12 o'clock until 4 o'clock with processing, with your support staff, with any loan level updates, returning all communication. Then at the end of the day, you put all the files into your system, and you just have to operate within a lane. And so I said, if you remember one thing that's going to help you, it is stay in your lane. You're never going to get there if you're driving all over the freeway. Stay in your lane, do one thing at a time, and you'll find you have time to do it all. So today we're talking about maximizing refinances and becoming a well-rounded loan officer. Most LOs around the country focus predominantly on purchase business because that's where the client gets in the door. But that's not a well-rounded loan originator. To be a loan officer or a broker that can handle refis means you're well-versed. You can sell, you can help manage debt, and you have more clients you can get when you can refinance. And let me show you why. Go to page 2, and the question is, why refi? Yes, purchase is a part of our DNA. It's how they get in the door, and we love it because it's giving the client the American dream. But the other part about loving the American dream is helping someone solve their problems. So if you can be a great refi, a refi is like a heart surgeon. A purchase is like a pediatrician. You're servicing a young child when they're really young, and it's very black and white, and it's how much down and how much you want to pay, and let's get you on to life. But a refi is like surgery. Something is wrong, or you have an ailment. Let me fix this for you. Let me pay off all of your debt. Let me lower your overhead by $500 a month. That's surgery, and refis are just as gratifying. And the one thing that I know is refis and purchases pay the exact same. You don't get your commission cut because it's a refi. So today I want to dive into refis and why refi. So on page 2, you will see from Housing Wire, they just put an article out a couple of, I think it was January 9th. So this is now 2 months ago, almost to the day. And they say that mortgage debt hits a record of 15.8 trillion. So think about 15.8 trillion in US mortgages. That's crazy. 5.5 million homes get sold a year, but there's $15.8 trillion that's on the street in lending money. And if you look at this Board of Governors Federal Reserve study that I pull up for you guys, 2015 was 13.8 trillion, 16 14.3 trillion, 17 14.8, all the way up until 2019, 15.8 trillion. If you look at from 2017 through 2019, that debt, that 15.8 trillion debt, most of that debt is at a higher rate than today's market's at. That's why you're all exploding, because everybody, almost everybody, can get a better deal on their mortgage than they have right now. That's why refis is there's $15.8 trillion that you can go after in the streets and get them into a better loan. And people are watching the news, they know what's going on. So they are well aware, and as they see their stocks get beat up and the market's compressing, the only other place they can save is in their monthly mortgage. And people are down. There's this virus happening. All of a sudden their portfolio dips, their 401k gets beat up, and they're depressed and they're hurting. So if you save them $500 a month, or pay off all their credit cards, or help them do something with their equity of their home, they actually feel enlightened and happy. So why refis? Because it makes you feel good and it helps the customer, and there's $15.8 trillion on the street going around. So don't complain that you can't get business. It's a mental block. And if you're using your coffee and you're using your phone and you're using your pen, you're gonna get business. Let's keep going, page 3. So let's go deeper into why refis, why you should be a well-rounded LO and always look at doing refis. Purchase business is our lifeblood, I get it, but purchase business is different. If you give a client a pre-approval, that pre-approval is good for 120 days, 90, whatever days. They're gonna go shopping for a home. They may find a home, they may not find a home. The value may come in high, it may come in low. Maybe they get approved and something happens and they can't get their money together. Maybe the seller doesn't agree to an inspection repair. Maybe the two realtors are battling over commissions. A lot of things can go wrong where you can lose a purchase. We lose purchases consistently here because buyers just don't want to buy houses after they go through inspections, or they get nervous, or they back out because they see the market crazy. So refis, number one, why you should be consistently closing refis, because the call to close time is typically 30 days. On a purchase, the call to close can be 6 months or a year. So you get paid a lot faster on refis. Number two, everyone's a customer. $15.8 trillion in debt. They all can get better mortgages. Everybody you speak to that has a mortgage today is a customer. Number three, you can really show your expertise on a refi, because you can look at their entire situation, how much debt they have, how much cash is in the bank, and what their financial plan is, and you can give them solutions. If their kids are going to go to college, there's a solution you can offer. If they have credit card debt, there's a problem that you can fix. If they want to start a business, you can give them cash out. If they want to fix their home to make it nicer, you can do that as well. So you can truly show your expertise, and people love experts. So a refinance shows the true grit of an expert. Reason number 4 why you should do more refis is you're only pleasing one party. So it's like being married to one person versus a whole tribe. And if you know, like I know, how difficult purchases can be when you have 2 realtors and an escrow and a seller and a buyer and a 30-day timeline and an appraisal and a contingency. We deal with that. We love purchase business, but I'm telling you, when it comes to a refi, you are only having to please a party of one, and that's the borrower writing the check. The 5th reason why refis are important is because your refis will become home buys. Remember that forever. Your refis will become home buys. The average person stays in their home 5 to 10 years. So everybody you're refinancing right now, based on numbers, some stay 2 years, some stay 20 years, but the average is 5 to 10 years. So whoever you're doing a refi for right now is going to move in 5 to 10 years. So you are literally putting cash in the bank if you manage the process right. So refis become home buys, and if you don't forget about them, they're going to come back to you. Reason number 6, there's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's taking an app, getting approval, and closing a loan. And lastly, past clients are free. So the 7th reason why you should do refis is past clients are free. You're not having to go spend money on an online lead service to generate a lead with a realtor. You don't have to go pay for lunches. You don't have to go sponsor events with reps at a convention to get purchase business. You don't have to do seminars and webinars. Refis are free because past clients are free. You can call your past clients, give them a solution, and they're going to refi with you. So the question is, how many borrowers will give you borrower referrals from refis? Think of how many people know other people. I know if it's like your business right now, when I help a brother, they have a sister and another brother and a sister and a parent. And if their rate is in that 15 trillion that's higher than market, you can help their entire family right now. So I'm going to ask you guys to think intrinsically for a minute. How many referrals, and it could be one here or one there, how many referrals, refi referrals, have your real estate partners given you? I could probably think of maybe 1 to 5 in the past couple of years of referrals that my realtors gave me for refis. It's not very common because realtors are hunting for listings today. So when they get up in the morning, they're not going to say, how many refi referrals can I give to Ben? Why would they? They're not going to be compensated on that referral. There's no benefit to them to have their client go refi with you. But if you help Brandon or Shannon or Alan or Carly or Alex, and you help them with their mortgage, they know their brother, their sister, their mother, their colleague, their aunt, their secretary all could use you for a mortgage if you follow what I'm going to show you guys today. So every borrower knows multiple people that can refi, and there's another reason why refis are critical, because people will refer people to you like that, and they don't really, if they know I did a good job for you, they're not going to really shop around. They're going to say, hey, Brandon told me to call you, he got a great rate, can you help me? And then from that conversation to 10 minutes later, you can have a full application, and in 30 days you can close that loan. But your mindset's got to be open. You got to use your coffee, your phone, and your pen, and that will get you a long way. So on page 4, we talked about why you should do refis, and the next question is, how do I get them? If you're someone now that's dying and desperate to get more refis, I'm going to show you through this slide how to get more refinances. Number 1, talk to people. If you're only having 5 conversations a day, you're missing the point. You have to spend 4 hours a day time blocking and calling. You have to be on the phone. You have to talk to people, because 65% of all people today that own homes should be, let me run that back again. 65% of all people that you know own homes. So 65% of everybody in your phone that's over 32 should be refinancing. So how many contacts do you have? 100, 500? Even at 100, there's 65 opportunities. If you pick up the phone and say, hey, it's Ben, I'm your friend, I know you own a home, have you refinanced yet? Before this market changes, take advantage of these insane low rates and save some money. You can either cash out and pay out bills. If you had a loan for 5 years, let's look at shortening your term. Maybe you want to buy something new, or maybe you know someone else that does. And I'm going to keep calling you to check on you to see what you need. Number 2, add every single conversation to your database. If you talk to 20 or 30 or 40 people a day, they should go in your database, because your job is to grow your database. That's what this market's all about, is growing your footprint. You got to talk to them and then add them to your database. Step number 3, once they're in your database, or take your existing databases and keep growing those. Once you grow your database or you add these new clients to your database, there's 2 things you have to do twice a month. You must do an email blast and you must do a voice blast right now, because rates are so low. And the email blast is, it could be a video through a BombBomb or a video template that you guys can look up yourself, or it can be you sending an email campaign to all your clients saying, hey, it's Ben, your friend and loan officer. I'm imploring you, I'm urging you, you've got to get off your butt, you've got to refi. Rates are so low and it's not going to last. Don't think that you can get this rate tomorrow. There is no guarantees. I believe we're at the bottom. So call me or email me back and let's get you into a better mortgage. I'm not too busy, I have a team, and we can help you. And that's the blast. And put it out there and create urgency. And I do the same thing with a voice blast. There's multiple companies you guys can find and use that can do voice blasts. If you aren't spending the time to do these things, you aren't running a business like a CEO. So you must do this twice a month, because it makes everything else make more sense. So talk to people. Set a goal. I'm going to talk to 50 people a day. If you don't do that, you're not going to get there. If you set a goal of having X amount of convos per day, you're going to make it happen. Add every single convo to your database, and then email blast them, and then voice blast them. Then step number 4, call your database A through Z 4 hours a day, at least twice a week. Once you build the database, all you have to do is call through it. And you're going to ask them the questions, the 7 Ds: death, diapers, diamonds, divorce, debt, downsize, deconstruct. These are things that are happening in their life. It's not just about rates. If you only call when rates go down, you're missing the point. It's always calling. And then when rates go down, you blast them. That makes it all make sense. Because to me, step number 5 is to rinse and repeat over and over and over again. If you do this the rest of your life, you'll be successful. Talk to people every single day. Set a call talk number. Add every single person you talk to your database. Blast your database twice a month, and then call the database A through Z all the way through it. Try and get through your database 3 or 4 times a year. So every single year, you're direct calling and texting everyone in your database, and you're rinsing and repeating. It's very simple. So by following this method, you will always be able to do refis, because refis become home buys. Let's keep going on page 5. Then, if you call, they will come. It's like the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. If you call, they will come. If you call 50 people a day, if you call 100 a day, if you call 200 a day, a percentage of who you call will come back. And handle the low-hanging fruit. Handle those people that call back and respond to your blast. Call each person one at a time. Nothing replaces the phone. No one's going to call you if you don't call them first. So don't be someone that calls back, be someone that calls first. Take apps. Send each person an immediate needs list. When you're talking to them, thanks for the conversation, here's the 5 things that I need. And get the borrowers to commit and get on board. Then work each loan and pass these deals to your assistant, and it's all about how many calls you can make in a day. That makes more sense as you call, as you make these blasts, master blasts, and then you take the time and courtesy to call them one-on-one. The master blasts make all the intermediary calls make sense. So once you have this system down, and if you call, they will come. Let's keep going. So where do people shop? Now we talked about why you should be doing refis, how to get started, but let's get in the mindset of the consumer for a second. And I've spent years, I've made over 1 million sales calls, and I hope by 10 years from now, I'm at 1 million more, because that means I'm continuing to do the things I'm asking you guys to do. I'm eating my own dog food, I'm doing it right every single day. It's all about understanding the customer, and I don't care what people say. This is a technology-driven business, and the phone is technology. But let's talk about the mindset of the consumer. Where do they shop? What's their thought process? So I'm Alan today, and I got my mind on my mortgage. The first thing I'm gonna think of, because my loan officer hasn't called me, because most of us don't. He thinks, okay, well, my loan's with Loan Care or with PennyMac. I'm gonna call them, but I don't know anybody there, so I'm gonna call the toll-free number and just ask for a rep. That's really impersonal, but I don't know who else to talk to. That's the first thought that goes through their mind. They might say, you know what, before I call PennyMac, I'm gonna call my friend Brandon, because I know he's pretty smart, and we talk about home ownership and his kids going to college. He's probably already doing a refinance, because he's that smart of a guy. He's the guy that jumps on me. He's the guy that tells me what to invest. He's the guy that told me to buy a Tesla. That's Brandon. He's the guy that tells me that I should probably stock up on toilet paper because of the coronavirus. He's the guy that tells me everything. I trust Brandon. So before I call my bank, I'm gonna go ahead and call Brandon, because he's always in the market to buy homes. Hey Brandon, what's up? It's Ben. Have you done a refi yet? Who are you talking to? Because you've probably done the research. And if I trust you, I know I'm gonna make the right move. Oh yeah, well my loan officer Ben calls me every 3 months. And the minute rates dropped, he blasts me with an email. So I'm already locked in at 3.0. Are you kidding me? Oh, can I get Ben's number? Absolutely. And that's how it works. And then they look online last. If their friend doesn't know an answer, then they're gonna go shop online. So the first thing they do is call their bank or think about calling their bank. Then they ask their friend. Then they look online. So the question for you is, have you touched all your clients directly and personally, so that when their friends are asking them what to do, they've given them the advice? That's critical. And if you do that, you're gonna retain your business, and you get deals for free. And you cannot pick up the amount of deals coming your way if you understand the mindset of the consumer. Let's keep going. So what if every client brought you one client? We call it Refi Referrals. And that's what I'm talking about today, is looking at your client who you're helping and getting them to get you business. So I've got a little script for you guys today to use on page 7 that will get you business from your Refi Referrals. So the deals you will get from the clients you have are the easiest deals. So when you're dealing with your clients, I want you all to copy this script today and text this script to every single person who is currently refinancing with you. And this is the script. It's very simple. So happy I could help you with this record low rate. I would love to pass the same savings to at least one of your friends or family members, here's my digital business card. Please think of me. Please think of who else is looking to buy a home, looking to refinance, that I could literally save up to $100,000 over the term of their loan. So happy you got in on this. So you want to send a quick text like this to all your friends and ask them, share this good news with one person. Here's my card. I helped you. Who else can I help? And if you do this, you'll get so many Refi referrals. And in most cases, they'll send you their friend, their brother. I had one family that runs an insurance company call into our office yesterday. The son wanted a refi. Well, guess what? His dad owns the insurance business. Guess what? His brother also works there. Guess what? Their two secretaries that work there also wanted a refi. So we got 5 borrowers from one insurance office, and their dad owns 2 other homes. So that is 7, 8 loans from one office with one phone call by saying, who else could we help? Well, I never thought about that. My son's working. Let me get him on the phone. Hey, do you want to get a... Yeah. I thought about that, but I've been too busy. My other son, hey, let me talk to him. All right, cool. My receptionist. Everyone's getting on this refi boom. They all know about it, so you have to push the initiative and make them pass the information along. And if you do that, you will have more refinances than you can shake a stick at, because refis lead to what? Home buys. Let's keep going. But how do I stop the shoppers? That's the next thing you're all thinking, and I get texts all day long from many of you saying, oh my gosh, my borrower's shopping me around. What do I do? Well, you just do what I'm going to tell you right now. And this is thinking like the consumer for a second, because yes, what happens is you get a rate lock, you get a borrower in, and then they see the news and the rates go lower, and they say, hey, do I get a better interest rate? Or, hey, my bank now called me because you pulled my credit and they're offering me a better interest rate. And this is how you approach that. So mentally, in life, price is sacrificed for 2 things: speed and convenience. That's it. Price can be sacrificed for speed and convenience. So your number one asset when borrowers shop is you got them first. It's different if they call you and they say, hey Ben, I just talked to Bank of America, I'm at 1.9930 your fix. I'm like, great, good job, that's a great loan, but I'm gonna keep calling you because in 3 months you might have more needs, you might get into debt, you might get into, someone might pass away, you might get divorced, hopefully not, knock on wood, maybe you have to buy another home, maybe you get relocated. So just because B of A offered you 1.99 doesn't mean I'm gonna stop helping you. I'm gonna always help you, but that's a good deal, go for it. That's different. If you get them first, you have the upper hand. So you have the customer first. Be confident in that. You have their documents, you have their application. So now you will win if you do 2 things: close fast and make it easy. If you make it complicated and slow, they're gonna go somewhere else. And I will show you an example in life on how we sacrifice price for speed and convenience. So if you go on page 9, I've got a case study for all of you guys. And this is a Starbucks case study. Not a person on this planet that hasn't heard of Starbucks past over the age of 5, maybe 3. My kids want to go there every single day and order a hot chocolate. People just know what Starbucks is. So look, this is DoorDash. This is how we order food today as a culture. So the caramel frappuccino at Starbucks today is $5.25. You can drive literally half a block and go get that if you want. But no, we DoorDash this item to ourselves all day long. I know that I do. Maybe not a frappuccino, but I order quad espresso so I can stay lit and get my loans closed. So what I'm telling you is, in this case study, if you look at the cost to get it delivered to you, is $15.60. So you, Mr. or Mrs., whoever you are watching me right now, you're gonna pay $10 more for your Starbucks to be delivered because you don't want to go get it yourself, because you will sacrifice price for speed and convenience. Why? Because I can keep working right here, and within 30 minutes, some guy or girl is going to walk in the door with a bag and say, Ben, I got your Starbucks, and embarrass me and tell me how I overpaid for a Starbucks. My entire floor is going to laugh at me that I'm paying $10 for a delivery man to bring me a Starbucks. But that's how humans are. So if you have the file, you have to run with it. And what you're telling your customers is, look, it's about speed and convenience. Yes, someone's going to offer you $25 less a month, but they're going to close in 3 months. I'm closing in 21 days. I'm closing tomorrow. I'm done. I have your file finished. They're going to require you to spend 15 more hours and 30 more days closing your loan. Do you really want to spend 2 months with Bank of America waiting in line for $25 that by the time you get the loan closed, I'm going to cut your rate all over again? Come on, let's go for it. I have your paperwork. So it's speed, it's convenience. I have it all. I need very little and I'm ready to close. And if you do that, you will stop your shoppers from shopping. If you make it about rate, well, no, they're not going to get, no, they're going to get you a better rate than me, but I'm going to close faster and on time. Be honest. And tell your client, so I'm going to shoot you straight. Yes, they're going to save you $25 a month, but I'm going to close 35 days faster. So how much is it worth to you? And then, well, $25, literally, ask the customer, do you own DoorDash? Yes. So the $25 a month that you want to save is literally you now ordering DoorDash 1 or 2 more times. Is it worth it for you to go through a whole new process, give them all your tax returns, download it all, sign disclosures, do a whole new appraisal to save $25 and make them feel silly? And tell them, look, I got you, and I got you again, and I got you again. Remember who called you first. I told you about the refi. And when rates drop again, I'm going to help you again. So don't get discouraged when your clients shop you. Battle back, be confident, and realize people will sacrifice price for speed and convenience every day of the week. Let's keep going. So, speed to close. The key to the speed to close, because the next question you're going to ask me is, how do I close that client quick? Well, it's a one-call close. One-call close. All your refis have to be one-call closes. If you don't close them on the first call, they're going to take their time and they're going to shop around. And now you don't have leverage. Leverage is everything. If I have the application, if I have their commitment, if I have the documents, I can start running. And now when they shop around, I can then pitch the speed and the convenience. But I can't pitch speed and convenience if I'm on the same starting point as the bank is. If I don't have the app, neither does the bank, then we're both out of bounds. So it's a one-call close, it's one needs list, and then congrats, we're good to go. It's telling them we're done. So how does a one-call close work? When you take the application, you must take the application. And when clients give you opposing arguments like, I want to shop around, you have to do these things I'm going to show you. I've got 3 scripts in here that'll help you with the one-call close. It's one-call close, one-call close, one-call close. It's, yes, we can help you. Let's take some information and I'm going to give you your terms in writing. So when the client wants to know about their terms and conditions, you say, all right, I've got a couple of basic questions that I'm going to ask you, and then I can send your terms in writing. They go, okay, what's a couple of basic questions? And then you go through the application for the borrower. So when they're thinking about, and there's that pause in their voice, and they go, what rate can you offer? And you say, I can offer 3.5. And they go,